Why you're shampooing wrong in your auto detailing business. Hey there, my name's Latif, and I own Delivery Detailing, which is a mobile detailing business in Guelph, Ontario. I'm going to talk with you about, guys, for about 10 minutes about why most detailers actually shampoo their vehicles and customer vehicles wrong. And I've got some really cool things to share with you guys. So stick around because I promise you'll learn a thing or two here. So, let's get started. So, first and foremost, let me talk to you guys. You guys gotta understand how most detailers shampoo upholstery and how the usual process usually works. Uh, Most detailers use an extractor. Extractors could be things like a Bissell Spot Clean Pro, which you can actually see. Oops, excuse me. You can actually see underneath my face. So it's right here. Or a Mighty Extractor, by the way, which is a $1,000 extractor, or their own homemade DIY extractor. Most detailers use an extractor on every single job that uses the word shampooing, which, in my opinion, is completely unnecessary and is not only time wasting. I'll also share with you guys actually. Here's the downsides of actually doing this in every single job site. First and foremost, extractor is a really high moisture method. It's very high moisture. You're literally soaking the seat completely with your chemical. You'd agitate it and then use a extractor to suck up as much moisture as possible. And you can also press the button to spray the liquid. Uh, but once you get that liquid in, it's really hard to take that liquid out, even with an extractor. You can get most of the liquid out, but you're still gonna have a good portion of that left, and that's gonna be hard to deal with. And I'll tell you why that is. So first and foremost, when it comes to extraction, customers get the soaking level wet at the end, especially if you if you do shampooing towards the end of the detail, which most detailers actually do. They shampoo towards the end, which I don't blame them. The process of how we do it is just built into nature like that. And so, first and foremost, the customer has to worry about a soaking seat at the end. They have to wait at least 15 minutes before they can feel comfortable sitting in their car, let alone for it to completely dry, which is not ideal. It's that's bad by itself. But not only that, when it comes to extraction, if you don't properly dry the seats, mold can start building up in the upholstery, which is a whole other problem that can occur if if that doesn't get treated. And you don't want that your customers who are paying you a premium price to get that service. Another issue is wicking. Now, I know most detailers are familiar with wicking, but to summarize it, wicking what occurs when upholstery dries and then stains come back again. And that's because the foam underneath the seats, which I'll share later on, was a bit too wet, and when that dried, it pushed the stains upwards towards the edge, hence showing those stains again. So I'll tell you guys how I deal with that. But finally, and this might sound selfish, you make less money. Job takes longer. It tends to be less fun, and you make less profits. So these are some reasons why I don't use extractors every single time. By the way, I still have one. I have a Bissell Spot Clean. However, I reuse them on certain circumstances and in rare cases only. And I'll share with you what those cases are in a second. So let me tell you here before we move in one last thing. This is the method that I use. Ivan Lacroix uses, who is the efficiency master. If you don't know who Ivan Lacroix is, he is a Quebecois he's from Quebec and in Canada. He used to have 25 detailing shop franchises. He's the one who actually introduced me to the system, believe it or not. He's the one who popularized this. So this method is called a bonnet cleaning system, also known as the Nahtan Flannel Upholstery cleaning method. I know a lot of words here, but let's call it a bonnet cleaning method. And I'll tell you why that's the name of that. But this method effectively is a low moisture method. It uses the least amount of liquid as possible, therefore reducing the risk of mold, therefore reducing the risk of wicking, and the risk of having soaked seats for the customer. And in my personal experience, I use an extractor about 10 to 20% of the time. The remaining 80%, I don't really use an extractor. And the only times I would use an extractor actually isn't even for the seats. I don't use an extractor for the seats that often. It's actually for carpet mats. So, especially in Canada, with carpet mats, if you get a disaster carpet mats, sometimes you have to actually reset those mats where you like pressure wash it and completely soak it in water and then agitate. Then you have to use an extractor to dry it up, to suck up as much moisture as possible. That is when I use my extractor. And then sometimes in the rare circumstances, if I'm working with upholstery seats, if it's really, really bad, then yes, I might have to pull out the extractor. So if I'm working, for example, with like a mechanic car, like cars that have oil inside of them or mechanic related dirt, then yes, I might have to extract to make sure the liquid that I'm extracting is clear. Because I'm sure you guys already know a lot of oils from like engine oils. If you spill, God forbid, there, these are effectively permanent. And how I like to think about this is if the water you're seeing through the extractor lens is clear, even though there's a stain on the seat, then it means it's permanent. So I like to use an extractor to make sure those are actually permanent stains and not actually ones that can be removed. So I blabbered on for a bit too long. Let's discuss the bonnet cleaning system. The bonnet cleaning system comes from the janitorial world, actually. It's a method of a carpet cleaning that uses a rotary floor machine with soft absorbent wool pads. And you can actually see it here in this background. This is a rotary machine used in in carpet cleaning companies. It's like this rotary machine that has a wool underneath it. And it's actually this wool is actually sometimes soaked in, and oftentimes soaked in cleaning solution, and it absorbs and scrubs the carpets and absorbs the dirt into the wool by essentially buffing it. I'll tell you more about that in a moment here. But just a heads up, rotary, this is the same level of mechanism that is used in rotary polishers or actually your drills. If you use a drill brush for, agitating, then this is the same same mechanism that's used when it comes to turning around in this rotary fashion. So, I know what you're probably thinking. Latif, so it sounds like it cleans the surface of the carpets or surface of the upholstery. This won't clean my customer seats properly. I want to get 101% clean. Are you sure? Let me tell you about this. This is a diagram of automotive seats. As you can see, automotive seats is cut into two different parts. You have the foam, which is about 90 to 95% of the thickness of the actual seat. And then you have the skin, which is the outside layer of the seat, which is about 5% of the thickness. 9 times out of 10, when it comes to stains that occur, they're skin level stains. And what I mean by that is most of the stains that you see actually are on this outer level skin. It's the skin itself that gets dirty. Those are the ones that show us the stains, not the foam. As a matter of fact, if you ever go to a junkyard and rip open a seat, or if you see, happen to see a foam inside of a seat in a junkyard, you'll actually oftentimes find that it's actually almost in pristine condition. That's not dirty at all. That's because, like I mentioned, the skin is the thing that gets dirty. Now, if you're working with a customer that, for example, told you that they spilled a cup of coffee right on their seat and it's soaked there for a couple of minutes, let alone an hour, then yes, you might need to pull out an extractor because it might have actually went down to the foam. But for most surface level stains, most stains that you're working with, you don't need to clean the foam. You're cleaning the skin only. So, I've talked with you guys the old method. I told you guys about the new method, why we do it, and how the process works. Let me tell you how the steps that we use, and I even used to use in these detailing businesses to shampoo these seats. Step 1 is this is something you guys already do, you pre-treat the stains. So if you're looking at an upholstery seat and you see particular stains, grab either an enzyme-based cleaner, which PNS actually has one, PNS Terminator. I heard good things about that one. Or I actually use an APC, just because I like to use one chemical for multiple uses. Spray some APC, don't use too much, only spray in specific areas that are dirty. Second, and this is very important, foam. your carpet slash upholstery shampoo. And the reason we want a foam is because the foam actually lifts the dirt from the seats, and also kind of acts as a scrubbing agent. If you ever saw the commercial scrubbing bubbles, I'm too young for that. Ivan talks about it. Bubbles or foam cleaners tends to scrub on their own whenever a bubble bursts, so they do a better job of cleaning. And plus, it's satisfying as well. So basically a 3-in-1. It's a 3-in-1 like Nescafe, so it's a good, fantastic option. So foam your upholstery and carpet shampoo over the entire surface, even the ones that don't look dirty, that looks clean. And then grab your rotary polisher. That's the crazy part. Or you can also use a drill. But a rotary polisher is fantastic because they do come with wool pads. Uh, you can use I use a drill because I don't like using polishers that often. But grab a drill or a rotary polisher and put a wool pad on it. There's a bunch of attachments you can buy online on Amazon that are wool pad attachments for drills. And make sure the wool pad is a bit older. That way, when you're agitating, like lint doesn't blow up on you. There's not crap ton of lint everywhere. So once you grab your wool pads on a drill or a rotary, start agitating the stains, similar to a drill brush. And the cool thing about this method is that not only are you agitating with this wool bonnet, this wool pad, it will also absorb the liquid into the wool, hence giving you that pristine, almost finished-like look. That's completely dry, almost. That will be completely dry within 10 to 15 minutes, rather, and look fantastic in twice the speed, with no risk of mold, or rather reduced risk of mold, reduced risk of wicking, and happier customer, making you a more profitable business. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions about this method, shoot me a comment on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. I plan on making more educational videos for detailing business owners of like common myths that I've seen people do, and I really look forward to talking with you guys about this. Thanks for watching. Take care.